Hey guys, been a little remiss in putting out my series on the spooky things that have happened to me. Supernatural. Um, and I was just watching Liberty Garden cut down a tree on his ranch and did a very good job of it. But it reminded me of an incident, so I thought I'd do a real quick video on that. We had a big old mulberry tree in front of our guest house when I moved here, and one year I was looking at it and I noticed some rot up in there, and I thought that thing might come down on the guest house, or a chunk of it might. And a mulberry tree, it's kind of mushroom shaped tree. It's not a tall thing like a conifer. I mean, it was a good 40 feet tall, don't get me wrong, it was big, but it was wide. And it was about, I seem to remember it being 38 inches across, in diameter at the base. So it's a big tree. And I set about cutting it down because Joe Primal knows how to drop a tree, right? You know? And I made a blunder. I couldn't really see up in it as good as I should have been able to, and I wasn't as careful as I should have been able to. And being a big, wide, flat, mushroom-shaped tree, it was actually way off balance weight-wise. And as I started to cut into it, it started binding my saw, and I'm glad I recognized that meant it was trying to tilt the wrong way. I thought, oh, wait a minute, that's not good. And I figured out what was wrong. There was a big fat branch way up high that I couldn't really see through the foliage that was heading straight over the little house, and it had a lot of branches on it. So now I was in a pickle. And as I'm sitting trying to figure that out, a sedan pulls in with an old guy in it and an old woman. And I'm talking really old. So I start chatting with him, and it turns out he lived here for a while as a child, and he's passed by this place on the freeway, which is about a mile from us, many times, but he never stopped in to see if the old place was still here. And suddenly, this particular time he was driving up the freeway, he just got this urge to come in and see the place. And so he did. And he had planted that tree 78 years earlier when he was a little kid. Yeah. And he just happened to show up while I'm cutting it down, which I think was sad for him, but he understood. And so he left, and I went on about getting that tree down safely, which took me many hours. I didn't finish it until the next day, and what I had to do was kind of insane. There was no way to get up there and take burden off the tree without dropping that burden on the guest house, and without risking life and limb with an unstable, And so I managed to take a little bit of the burden off, but it still wasn't going, and I used wedges in there to try and tilt it that way, and I finally cut out a rectangular box in there in the back of the tree, and I got a hydraulic jack ram in there, and I pumped that thing and pumped it up, and I got it to move a little bit. I got more wedges in. I got it to move a little bit. I got more wedges in. I pushed that thing over with hydraulics. I don't know if any tree has ever been felled that way before, but that's how I ended up doing it. I got it to fall the right way, but wow, what a thing. But anyway, what are the odds of that old guy who planted that tree as a little kid happening to show up for the first time he ever stopped by in his life at the tree on the day it was getting cut down? It's almost like that tree called out to him. I don't know. That's my story, and it's 100% true. And I leave it to your interpretation. You guys have a good day.